Today we're going to talk about Goonery of the Week, recap the Bears and the Vikings game, and open it up to some sports talk at the end of 2020 here. Your host, Uncle Adam. With me is the innkeeper and Brandon Cauley. This is the Goonery.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on, fellas?
What's up?
Nothing. Just happy to be here. What's going on, fellas?
Yeah.
Just chilling, man.
Living the dream. All right, let's jump into some Goonery of the Week here. Ben, what's your Goonery of the Week?
All right, so, 2020, I get for the most part, people have been locked up inside by yourself. The mind tends to wander. Horny levels have been at an all-time high. But Dwayne Haskins, quarterback of the Washington football team, seen out with strippers after this past week. He's a guy who's already been benched for his leadership qualities and commitment to learning the playbook in all actuality. Stripped of his being a captain, fined $40,000 from the team, and he was quoted after the video came out of, "When you mess up, you have to be able to admit it. That's what I had to do." So he admitted that he knew that he shouldn't have been out in that situation. And so a little more, an extra layer of the Goonery, you're just peeling back the layers here. It was at his girlfriend's party. He was getting grinded on by a stripper. Come on, dude.
Oh, covered in COVID.
Oh, and that's even with Alex Smith still kind of trying to come back from this tweak to his calf he has. And Washington is firmly entrenched in the NFC East lead right now at 6-8. Hey, it's not pretty, but just you got to grow up at some point. Haskins obviously has the talent, but he's not gonna last in Washington. I do not expect to see him there next year.
There's some boneheaded decision making on and off the field for that guy.
And I'm confused because there's one of the arguments that's been told to me was that, hey, football is not just their life. They actually want to go out and have fun. Like, okay, I get that. It's totally fine. But you can find fun in ways where you don't have to put yourself at risk or put your teammates at risk or your coach who just got out of remission of cancer in risk of getting sick. So I don't get the selfishness of these players, and you see the same thing with James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
Him just can't stay out of strip clubs for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. He's trying to play the victim. Something's like
reasons.
Yeah, they was opening gifts at a strip club. I never heard of something like that. I guess that's new. Whatever, that's their prerogative. But people got to be smarter than this because this stuff ain't a game, man. We seen it over the past couple of months, this whole year, if we're really being honest. So I don't know when people are going to smarten up, but what do you expect from Ohio State quarterback? I had to take the chance to be petty because, I'm a Michigan fan. I've been beating up too much about Ohio State. So now this is my turn. It's my turn to do this. So, if hopefully Justin Fields has better luck in the pros if he plays for the Bears. Other than that, I don't care. But, just stupidity. Pure stupidity.
And I'm not condoning it in any way, shape, or form, but I guarantee you Haskins is the one who's paying for that bill for that party. You would think he would have the mind, it would be in his mind to tell people, hey, don't record me doing this, or his agent would be in his ear telling him that, because his agent knows he's doing that. It's horrible. The guy is just, like you said, a textbook Ohio State quarterback, can't stay out of trouble.
And before we move forward, I wonder when we're going to reach a point where athletes are telling people, yo, put your phone down. I'm in the limelight every single time I'm out in the public. Keep the phone away because anything I do, it could be positive or negative. There'll be someone that'll try to incriminate me for doing it. So please don't put me in that position. I wonder if that memo is sent out by the athlete himself or herself, but it's obviously not getting through in terms of the message being delivered.
Athletes aside, you see that. I see that when I'm away at school. You see kids when you're out, like, hey, don't videotape me doing this. Come on, man.
Exactly.
I don't need this screwing me over. You would think the guys making millions of dollars already would know to be like, all right, come on, man.
Yeah.
I think they teach
It's like
that
Haskins.
class 101.
Yeah, Dwayne Haskins. I mean, hazardously horny. Just like tag that on him.
All right, my Goonery of the week is our guy Ben over here starting Zeke Elliott in the
Yeah,
fantasy
yeah.
football semifinals, and then to flip all of us the bird for that decision there, still wins the game, and I'll be seeing him in the championship this coming week here.
Yeah, I mean, all I can really say to that is that I trusted my guys. I had complete faith in them. They knew that they were going to come out. Benny Snell knew that I would pick him up off the waivers right before the game to start in place of James Conner, who was in my lineup. But yeah, you know what? I don't know how I missed that Zeke.
Picked up Benny.
I mean, oh yeah, I did. I mean, 17 points right off the waiver wire. Thank you very much. But yeah, I don't know how I missed Zeke being rolled out. I mean, I was watching everything and I didn't even realize it until it was too like I'm like, Jesus Christ. Tony Pollard, a free agent, didn't even notice it. And it didn't matter in the end. I mean, as of right now, Adam, you're projected to beat me by less than 3 points. So we'll see there. I mean, I've now since picked up Tony Pollard and I got David Montgomery. I've been riding David Montgomery the last few weeks. He's just
David Montgomery, freaking fantasy league winner.
I saw a tweet yesterday. It was like talking about how David Montgomery is still 93 yards away. He's only 93 yards away from 1,000 yards on the ground this year. And they listed the stat line. I think he had a couple games with like 19 carries and less than 60 yards, a couple games with 10 carries and 37 yards. I mean, that just like shows you how freaking dominant he's been these past few weeks. This offense clicking on all cylinders. And yeah, it's strange time to be a Bears fan right now. We'll get into
discuss that
later.
later.
We'll continue with David Montgomery talking in a few moments here. He's just looking beast. Ever since that run against the Packers, he's just been lights out.
The run.
That's the run, yeah, the infamous run. I'm gonna add on to it too, just since fantasy and Goonery of the week here. I think there was a couple players too that there's three of them that come to mind. I think Keenan Allen was like, "Start me, right? Start me," and he like one catch, right, or something.
For like 8 yards, yeah.
Yeah, that's wow. I think there was a Josh Jacobs one too, where he just trolled everyone. It was like, "Oh, I'm out," and then just still played.
I don't know how you get away with that though. I mean, wouldn't he like the injury report? I don't get how that worked with Josh Jacobs a few weeks back. That still doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that one's perplexing. Like, why are you trolling people like that? The other one too, Juju. Was that Juju dancing on the Bengals 50-yard line before the game, just cocking the ball, get out, and then got lit up?
I mean, it's just I know that he's come out and said as of today he's not going to be dancing on logos anymore before the game. Dude hasn't even had a 100-yard game all year. I don't think he's had a 100-yard game since Antonio Brown's left.
Yeah, he was trash for me last year. I shied away from him this year.
I gotta say, I have nothing to say about King Fortnite. He does what he does, and he's not number one. But Keenan Allen, I'm gonna go back to him because he became my favorite player in football because of fantasy. For the very first time in my fantasy life, I made the playoffs. And I started him because I had faith. Regardless if he was on a pitch count, I had faith. And he gave me a measly 2.6 points. Where do I go from there? Do I still consider him my favorite or what?
I mean, hey, this sounds horrible, but I still consider my favorite fantasy football player Ray Rice. So I think you're in okay.
I will not touch upon that.
Yeah, that's
that was a Goonery of the year, Ray Rice.
I think that's yeah. Quick little tangent on Ray Rice. I loved him so much in fantasy football when I was younger that for Christmas one year, top of my Christmas list as a Bears fan, I wanted a purple Ravens Ray Rice jersey. Yeah, that was thrown out by my mother a few years later. That was right in the garbage, and rightfully so.
Yeah. Oh, we should do an all-time list of like jerseys that you bought that you like had to get rid of her.
I got another dumb jersey purchase, Jordan Cameron Brown's jersey, the old tight
Oh
end.
God.
I don't know why, how, but I have it. Don't know where it came from. And yeah, that's a bad one.
One of my first jerseys was a Kyle Orton Bears jersey, orange.
I'm not mad at that.
No.
I had a lot of faith in him. Liked his neck
I
brace.
did too.
All right. Brandon, who's your Goonery of the week?
My Goonery of the week. It might be the Goonery of every year in college football because I think for some reason people were buying Notre Dame because they had the big win over Clemson, Trevor Lawrence-less Clemson football team. And they said, okay, maybe, just maybe, they may, be a legitimate threat in a college football playoff. Because I don't think it was a discussion whether they was going to make it. It was just a matter of will they be a threat. I must say I am sick and tired every season of Notre Dame wasting our time.
Mm-hmm.
It's every single season. And, I rag on Michigan. I say they're the Cowboys of college football because they have hype every year and they don't live up to it every year. Notre Dame is literally right behind us because they have TV contracts. They get press everywhere. And every single season I have to just deal with, oh, Notre Dame might make a run. This might be their year. This might be their. When has it been their year? When Manti Te'o was on the team, did his fake girlfriend cost them a national championship that year? That was the last time they have done anything close to being to the standard that they are being raised to. Other than that, every single season we see them just lose a game that they shouldn't, have close calls, and just get trounced in big games. Please, for the love of God, enough with the Notre Dame stuff. They are that football team that will never, ever reach that pinnacle that everybody wants them to reach. It's never going to happen.
No, I'm right there with you. I think that Notre Dame's defense this year has been pretty consistently great, I would say. But, I mean, you have a good quarterback in Ian Book. You don't have a great one. I lost a little tangent about Ian Book. Lost all respect for him. I have a friend, a friend who she has beaten Ian Book in a game of beer pong, and if that happens, that you lose all credibility in my mind if you're doing that. And trust me, I know that he didn't throw it for her. That's all I'll say. But I mean, and people also forget Brian Kelly killed a kid. So I mean that Notre Dame football is just forever cursed under Brian Kelly, in my opinion. But he'll never get fired. Brian Kelly will never get fired. And I'm not going to say it's a knock on Notre Dame because they make the NCAA a ridiculous amount of money every year. They do. I mean, they have one of the biggest fan bases in the country. You understand why. But my biggest gripe is I do think that they're one of the top 8 to 10 teams in the country right now, undoubtedly. The problem is the playoff system, and that's absolutely the truth. I mean, if there's any year to try something new, maybe do 8-team Power 5 champions, and then one group of 5, and then 2 wild cards, I guess. I mean, this was the year to do it.
Absolutely.
That's a great point. Sad on to the Manti Te'o bring up earlier. Did I see that he's on the Bears practice squad now?
He is.
So relevant.
Crazy. I think he won the Heisman that year and he went to national championship, if I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken.
I think he finished in second, but that was like the highest the defensive players finished. So Woodson.
I think it was another Goonery of the Year moment, right?
Yeah. What a controversy that was. That was a great time to be alive.
Yeah. Goodness. All right. Let's switch gears here. Let's dive into that Bears Vikings game. Man, if they would have beat the Lions that 1 week where they dropped the ball literally, we'd be having a different conversation here today.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the question. Are you guys buying into this recent Mitch hype here?
I don't know if I'm buying in per se, but I think I've come to terms with the fact that he will be under center week 1 next year.
Ooh.
I like that take, and I'm buying that take too. I think we'll see Mitch under center next year as well.
I tend to agree, considering if they finish this season strong, Nagy and Pace are back. They're gonna like I said last week, they're gonna try and protect their investment, and they're gonna try to get the most out of them. So I tend to agree. I can't have an argument against that.
It sure helps when you're getting that production from David Montgomery finally.
Absolutely, and I would say that this is probably one of Matt Nagy's best call games of the season. And people, I saw like a mixed bag of reactions when Mitch Trubisky threw the ball to J.P. Holtz in the end zone. He's like, "Oh, that's a Nagy call. Oh, why did Trubisky throw that?" Well, it comes with the territory. That's the thing.
The
But
interception.
yeah, the interception. Now, I've come to the now in terms of the like answer your question in terms of am I buying it? I can't buy in, but I would be a absolute jerk to say, oh, he hasn't been playing that good or it's just an anomaly. If we're really dissecting how he's been controlling the pocket, making better decisions, and just making very, very good throws. He's done all of that. So in that regard, I have to give him credit where it's due. Now, I think this week, now we could say about the Texans and the Vikings, I think for those games, the pressure really wasn't there because they were like leading out of the playoff race. Who's to say that this Jaguars game could be probably the biggest game of the season? Because if you let down here, oh my goodness, everything's going to burn down in Chicago. So it's one of those things where I'm trying not to get my hopes up. I like what I'm seeing from the offense. The defense still leaves a lot to be desired, and I think Chuck Pagano is the main culprit of that. But I see a lot of improvement from the offense. But I'm actually very, very scared that there's going to be a letdown week against Jacksonville, and that conversation will be a very, very uncomfortable one if that's the case.
Yeah, I think this is just the product of the Bears playing soft defenses again.
Hmm.
I'm not going to answer that question until after Week 17 versus Green Bay.
I don't blame you.
No, I don't either. And I think we all know that this is going to be like 2012 all over again. I'm fairly confident in the fact that we're going to beat the Jaguars this week, and Jaguars are going to want to hold on to that number one overall pick. They're going to want to get Trevor, and we're going to walk into Week 17, hosting Green Bay at home, and it's just going to be Packers aren't going to have to play their starters most likely. But guess what? You don't think Matt LaFleur is going to trot out Aaron Rodgers for the first half and just have him pick that defense apart? You're sorely mistaken.
Hmm.
You're sorely mistaken. And Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to see Jordan Love on the field. Come on.
No.
And
Well,
I am cautiously optimistic, but prepared for disappointment. That's where I'm at right now.
Hmm.
so let's say they run the table, they go 9-7. I mean, Jacksonville, right? Easy win on paper. Even more easy when they're trying to hold on to the number one overall pick. Bears offense looks like it's rolling. They get into Week 17. You're playing a Packers team that doesn't want to risk anything their starters. Maybe they'll show up to play that game. Maybe it's a winnable game. With this new new and improved Bears 3.0 this season, and they win that. Do they have a shot of making the playoffs now?
Well, the cookie has to crumble some ways for the Bears to make the playoffs. So it's not a particularly a shoe win. So first, let's just say they somehow lose against Jacksonville, Arizona wins, it's done. It's over.
Yeah.
But if they do make the playoffs, I mean, they do have a shot. I would say it's slim. And just going back to that Detroit game, if you beat Detroit, then we're in a very, very much better position to make the playoffs. So you know, I'm at that point where if the Bears somehow stick into the playoffs, I consider the season a win. Just for how lost this season was after the Detroit game and how everyone was asking for everyone's jobs to be gone, and I was one to say people to do that. It's a win because who expected Trubisky to come back for Nick Foles and lead them to the playoffs? That's a very, very, very big compliment to the work that Trubisky and the new offensive line has put in to put them in the position. So, if we make it, that would be awesome. I don't expect us to win, but if not, then, we'll just have that discussion about whether some people have to go.
Again, this would be such a different conversation if they beat the Lions a couple weeks ago. They'd be tied with Cardinals, and it looks like that Cardinals, if they go 1-1 over the next 2 weeks here, they'll have the same record. Do we know who owns the tiebreaker there?
I believe we do.
Yeah, I believe we do.
I think we would.
I know the
Yeah,
scenario
I think the
is,
Bears do, right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Cardinals play San Francisco, which you don't know what you're going to get, but never underestimate a Kyle Shanahan team.
Mhm.
And then they play the Rams, and the Rams have something to prove again. So
I think, I mean, after last week, Brandon, I know you're very, very high on the Rams. I mean, I am as well. I just, I see them coming off of that. I mean, coming off of that Jets loss, I mean, they're going to come out probably a million miles an hour just trying to ram the ball down everyone's throat. And that defense is just going to want to hurt someone. And, man, I still can't believe that they lost to the Jets.
You know something? I was so set on Notre Dame being my Goonery of the week because I just like attacking them because I'm petty and I have issues.
Mm-hmm.
But the Rams embarrassed me because I was right here last week saying that they were going to make the Super Bowl, and you lose to the worst team in football, probably the worst team we've seen in the past 15 years.
any given Sunday.
Literally any given Sunday. Like, how do you have an East Coast team travel, which usually that's where East Coast teams go to die,
Mm-hmm.
and you stink up a joint? How does that happen? How does that happen?
I don't know. It looks like they're struggling against those AFC East teams, except for not named Patriots.
Yeah, I don't know. Rams are a team that you want to believe in them so bad, but they just have those games where they just really just don't show up to play. I don't get it. It's a mystery, and it seems right now they're gonna make the playoffs. I just want to see how it's gonna work out in the playoffs, and depending who they play.
They lost at home too. Oh, no excuse. Wonder what happened there. Yeah, that's definitely an honorable mention, Goonery of the week too. Just that whole losing to the worst team, hasn't won a game, and you're considered a Super Bowl contender. With a lot of talents both behind the scenes and on the field. And then for the Jets too to win that game after being first in line for Trevor, and now you're hoping the Jacksonville wins another game or something.
I mean, I think the Jets winning that game is more Goonery than the Rams losing. If we're to be honest, I mean,
just all of it.
I saw it on Twitter. I've seen it on Twitter all week. Jets fans are renouncing their fanship because they're like, we've been waiting for one thing for the past 4 or 5 years.
Dude,
For 3 years, for 3 years they've had their minds set on Trevor Lawrence. Even after they got Sam Darnold, they knew they wanted Trevor, and Jets fans I've seen on Twitter are just up in arms and just can't believe.
How disgusting is it going to be for Lawrence to go to Jacksonville?
Oh, I'm gonna be pissed.
I mean, hey, if I'm Trevor, I'd be a lot more happy in Jacksonville than New York. Let's be honest. No state income tax, and
that's true. Yeah,
close to home in Georgia. He's close to home in Georgia, and
the only one. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There's nothing fun about playing in Jacksonville, but
I mean, they got some weapons now.
they got Shark. They got James Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, they do have some young talent there. That's for sure.
I'm going to take a hot take, too. I think those Jaguars, the one-win team, I think they're one of the toughest one-win teams I've ever seen play. All their games are so close.
You're not wrong.
Similar to the Giants this year.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong because, listen, other than the Ravens game, I don't think a lot of people can name you a game where they got blown out. I think it's just a matter of just executing and just having the right quarterback. And Gardner Minshew, you know, he's not a bad quarterback, but he's just not the right quarterback for a rebuilding team.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I wonder if going forward he will get an opportunity somewhere. Because I think that would be the case. But I'm
Yeah,
interested. I'm interested to see like how many chances he will actually get.
I think he's our new Fitz Magic, but he might need to produce a little bit more to kind of fully take that over. Just being kind of a fun, quirky backup QB in the league.
I actually was kind of leaning towards something very similar to that, Adam. I think that's a very, very good take with him because I don't think he's talented enough to be a long-term starter anywhere. He's a solid bridge quarterback. I mean, he's competitive every time he's on the field. Fans love him. I think I could very well see him ending up as Josh Allen's backup in Buffalo. I just feel like he fits that
Ooh.
fan base very well. The swag that team has, that just like literally like a fuck you attitude almost. And I think that he would fit in very well there with that team.
New England is somewhere I could see him going as well. He has a lot of potential. He's young. I think Belichick could get him. Well, I don't say get him in line. 'Cause he's not a guy as a distraction. He's just someone that he just happens to have a porn stash and he gets attention. So you know,
And he's a Coug.
Yeah.
Washington State.
yeah,
Washington State.
exactly.
I mean, hey, Belichick's made it work with the 6th-round quarterback before.
I know.
Hmm.
Sure has. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, the Bears looked good. Um, they beat the Vikings. You know, we all thought they could do it, given this new burst of energy on the offense side of the ball. The defense looked like they were the ones that almost cost them.
I it's so frustrating because you know I believe we had a 24 to I think it was 24-10, but it was somewhere around the range of like a two touchdown
Mm.
game. And you're just like, you know what? Oh, we got a good defense. We have a lot of talent in defense. We not have Jalen Johnson, but still pretty solid. And Vikings just with ease would just still go down the field and score. It's infuriating to watch this defense this year, and I take no pride in saying that because I like a lot of guys on that defense. Like they really play well together, and they have a lot of talent. But I tell you, and I've been saying this for weeks now, Chuck Pagano is the problem on that team. If once he's gone, you're going to see a very big difference. And my biggest issue is Adam, something you brought up. The soft coverages have to stop. You have to believe in your corners at some point and stop putting guys like Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn in coverage. It makes no sense, and it never has made sense. You have to stop.
Yeah. I mean,
On the topic of Robert Quinn, real quick, thank you for coming out this past week, earning his contract.
yeah.
Hey, was it worth it just for that one strip sack? Who knows? Probably not, but he's on the field again.
Hey, listen, if he want to show up to play now, please do. This is the best time possible to come out and play.
Oh, and we should give a little props to Cairo Santos there too,
Ooh,
kicking the rock.
I mean, hey, 4 for 4 on field goals this past week. What is he this year? I think he's like 23 of 25 or something like that from field goals. I mean, lights out. I mean, it's just nice to have consistency at the kicking position. I
Yeah.
mean, not that Eddie Pinheiro was bad last year by any stretch of the imagination. He was not. But after he went down with what is the pinched nerve in his knee, right? Something like that. I mean, Cairo came in looking like a toy soldier, has like been one of the top 5 kickers in the NFL this year. I mean, can't complain.
Cairo won me over when he won that game against Tampa Bay because Eddie Pinheiro didn't win the game for us against the Chargers last season. I still
Yeah,
hold a
I
grudge
remember
against
that
him
one.
on that
I remember that one.
heartbreaking loss.
Speaking of Bears kickers, former Bears kicker Cody Parkey looks like he's going to cost the Browns, you know, the playoff game this year, and it's going to be brutal for him.
Oh yeah, you know something. I really hope that he makes another appearance on a Today Show, saying how he got threatened on Twitter, and hopefully God will just give him all the praise and glory for missing a kick because he can't do his job. You know what? tired of him. I'm sick of him. If he doinks for the rest of his career, I'll be happy because I'm going to hold a grudge against that man until the day I die. And I have no problem in feeling that way.
Right. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap up the show here soon. Just kind of, a couple minutes left. Open forum. If you guys got anything else to say.
AC Red Bulls tip off in about an hour and a half, and
Follow the Bulls
I'm
hype
ready.
today. People are
I'm
excited about the future.
ready to buy back in. Billy Donovan gonna hopefully get these guys in the right headspace. Hopefully, we're gonna see Patrick Williams in the starting five tonight. I mean, I know I was dumping all over him the last couple shows, calling him Flower Boy, but it's looked good in the preseason. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not. I'm gonna let him prove me wrong first. And I'm just looking forward.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I'm looking forward to seeing Kobe White in the starting as a starting point guard right out of the gate. I mean, that had to happen, and it's the first time I've felt any sort of excitement for the Bulls in a while. So it's nice. It's nice.
I'll be keeping an eye on the Bulls because I do like the young talent that they have. So I'll be keeping an eye on them. But I have two things. Laker fans, don't be alarmed by the loss. This happened last season, and it's one of those feel out games that we like to call them. So don't get disturbed. But I want to touch on this really quickly. Wow, we have WWE setting people on fire now, so I think I'm all the way back in on that. So, if they keep this up, then I will be more of an avid watcher than I am already. So, keep up the good work. And Randy Orton, you are a sick bastard, and I love it.
I mean, he's just got a little kink for lighting Bray Wyatt and his shit on fire. Let's not. I mean, what is it? The third or fourth time now he's lighting something of his on fire. But overall, TLC was a very strong show. I know we talked about it a little bit last week, Brandon.
Yeah. I got a gripe with that. Why is the Roman Reigns match for the championship not the main event? Like, what are they doing?
They wanted that shock ending. That's what it was. Because Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns should have main evented on any other card.
For the house
but
down.
if Bray Wyatt never got set on fire, that was going to be the main event. That's why they saved it for last. Because you have to end the show with someone being set on fire. That just seems like the unwritten rules of wrestling, I guess.
Yes, but that's another gripe too. It's like, why are they booking him to lose? The Fiend.
I think that he's going to come back from being burnt alive, and I'll be the first to admit I didn't watch Raw this week. I had something going on. I didn't watch it, but I think that he's going to come back in like some new like version of the Fiend.
Almost. Oh, okay. All right.
Like almost like a killed bat version, and it's going to be like, I mean, let's be honest, Bray Wyatt's character, he's a schizophrenic character now. I think it's just going to be a new personality that's going to come out of this, and
okay,
I'm here for it. We'll see how they take it.
Okay, all right, I'm down for a new character. That's a good take. I guess they could make some sense in that regard. Those TLC matches though, both of them were great.
They were great. I think it got a little bit overbooked with the interferences. But other than that, I'm not going to be a guy that's going to complain about every little small detail. So I'm on board. Both of those matches were really, really good. The Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens had me on the edge of my seat because I thought maybe, just maybe, Owens is actually going to win the championship. And even the Miz, I thought he was going to win the championship. And I actually am curious to see how they're going to play out with the whole John Morrison cashed in for me. I didn't cash in myself. I'm looking forward to see how that's going to play out.
Yeah, I think he'll get it back. And
I do too. I do see him getting the briefcase back. But just to touch on the KO and Roman match real quick, I'm just happy that Kevin Owens looks like a legitimate threat again. I mean, he's like, was like the last year and a half, even 2 years maybe, he's been one of the more underutilized guys on the entire roster when he's in the upper echelon of talent. And it's nice to see him looking like a star again. That video package they put together before the match was awesome. Kind of reminded you of mid-2000s, early 2000s WWE video packages for pay-per-views. And I don't know, I'm excited to see how this goes heading into the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania season.
If that lead up to that match doesn't convince the powers that be at WWE that Kevin Owens isn't a star, then I don't know what will. He is a star. And at one point, I wanted to go back to NXT because I feel like they just wasn't utilizing him well. I think now you had to capitalize on it because everything, the lead up, the match, it was amazing. He played his part very, very well.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
and I
such
know.
a brawl for in this PG era. I haven't seen such a violent TLC match or Hell in the Cell match like that. I felt like they did a good job.
Hmm.
I think but real quick on KO, I'm looking forward to the steel cage match they're gonna have on Friday night between Roman and KO. I think that's gonna be very good. But I just want to say, I think my favorite thing in professional wrestling right now is with the no audience. You could hear Roman Reigns talking shit during the matches, and I just think that he is so good at being a heel. It's unbelievable.
It's funny because I actually was watching I don't know if you remember this from 3 years ago. It was John Cena and Roman Reigns during the contract signing. And when
Mhm.
you compare Roman Reigns from then to now, it's literally a night and day difference. And literally, this was all fans were asking for. Everyone knew Roman Reigns could put on a great match. It was just a matter of can he construct a coherent and actually like thrilling promo, and he's nailing every single promo that he has done over the past couple of months. He's been money.
Yeah,
Best thing in professional wrestling right now,
Man,
easily.
I don't think it's
really
close.
is.
But
Yeah,
easily.
yeah. All right. Well, that's our show for you guys today. If you like the show, definitely subscribe on YouTube. Find us on Twitter at _Goonery, Instagram at the Goonery. Till next time.